Alright then guys, welcome back to Every Kick. We've actually done a couple of these now, and yeah, they seem to go down pretty well with you guys. You guys like to get involved on Twitter. Shamelessly gonna plug my Twitter in here guys, mainly because if you want to get involved with Every Kick, make sure you follow me on Twitter, and just tweet me some opinions and stuff about things. I do polls on there, as you'll see, which then get featured into this. But if you guys have anything to say as well, I will put your statement or whatever on here. You can also get involved by commenting something down below that we talked about, and I'll throw it in to the next one. Also guys, as well, another thing you can do is anything that you pack on either PES or FIFA or a team that you built on either two, even your fantasy premier team, show me it, get involved in that way, and I'll give you guys a shout out towards the end of the video. Anyway, moving on to obviously the way this works for anyone that is new here. We talk about last week's news and we put it all into a video that usually gets uploaded every Tuesday. I think I'm going to try and stick it to, to a Tuesday upload, because I think it kind of not trademark, but sort of brands it, I guess, on the day, and it gets into a bit of a routine, doesn't it? You guys all know Tuesday 4 o'clock we have a new episode of Every Kick. It's time to talk about what's going on in the football world, which obviously, if you haven't already discovered, that is what Every Kick is about. So yeah, I'm going to start off with Arsenal, obviously my supported club. Danny Welbeck, who often gets criticised. I mean, by no means is he our best striker. And boy does he know it though. He doesn't come out here act like he's the best, but I feel like Danny Welbeck is his own thing. Like, I don't find him neither good or bad. I find him he's just Danny Welbeck, and he does come under a lot of discredit, of a lot of sort of hatred and insults by fans, but put out a pretty good performance. I mean, if it wasn't for his goals, we probably would have lost that game against Southampton yesterday. But yeah, 2 goals. He actually contributed to Aubameyang's got an assist as well. Sorry, yeah. So to do what he did, I mean, fair play, Danny. Well done. Obviously, seeing here, I feel like these pictures now just absolutely sum up Danny Welbeck to a T. Like, this was obviously a celebration after his goal, and this is just what Danny Welbeck is all about. I mean, he is just Danny Welbeck. He is the meme of football, I do believe. He is definitely the meme of Arsenal Football Club. Anyway, I feel like. But yeah, he seems like a really nice, down-to-earth guy, and you know what? If he can perform like he did, his work rate in that game was absolutely applaudable. And I do want to give a little bit of credit as well to the guy on the right there, Alex Iwobi, another player who really gets harshly criticised by Arsenal fans, who actually put in a solid performance yesterday. And fair play to those two lads who, week in, week out, every time their name is mentioned, whether it's on the bench or in the starting, if they're coming on as a substitution, people will tweet stuff like, "Oh, we're bottling the game now then," or "Oh, yeah, you could tell Arsene Wenger doesn't give a shit now because he's bringing on Welbeck, or he's bringing on Iwobi," or "Why is Iwobi starting? Why is Welbeck starting? We're never going to win anything with these guys." So you just hear the same things over and over again, and these guys, they don't let it affect them. They brush it off. They go out there and they put in a performance like they did yesterday, and you know what? Fair play to the both of them. I feel like I don't personally like criticising my own players. I like to just get behind them right through till the end, until they stop wearing the Arsenal shirt. I will back the boys 100%. That's just the kind of fan I am, and I mean, there are people that support the club differently and they do criticise and stuff, and I'm not knocking those people that do that, but this is the way that I do things. That's the way that I support my club. It's the way that I choose to support my club. I don't feel like there's a right or wrong way to it, and I'm mentioning all of this because recently I come under fire on Twitter from 2 people highly related to Arsenal Football Club, one being Kevin Campbell. Actually I felt like he was really trying to belittle me on Twitter, actually, Gavin Campbell, and I was a bit disappointed because I thought, you know, this guy, not really an Arsenal legend. I'm not disrespecting him and saying that, but, you know, he's not like a Thierry Henry or an Ian Wright, but, you know, he was a big player at Arsenal at some point, and a little bit before my time actually of supporting the club. But, you know, I respect that he used to play for them. Like, I missed Dennis Bergkamp's best days. Doesn't mean that I don't have as much respect for him as I do as Perez, Ljungberg, Thierry, and Vieira and the rest of them. And yeah, I felt like they were really, him and DT from Arsenal Fan TV were really, I just felt like they were really trying to belittle me just for making a simple comment about how I don't believe in Arsenal Fan TV's promotion of negativity about the club, about them finding the angriest fans outside who will pick fault in a perfect performance, you know, and I just sort of aired that on Twitter, probably in the wrong way. I probably did use the wrong words, but I was angry, you know. I come on Twitter, I see this crap from Arsenal Fan TV every single day after a game or during the game, and I'm like, why do you guys still exist? You know what I mean? Like, why, how do people find this stuff entertaining? If you're not an Arsenal fan, I can imagine it's very entertaining. For me, watching that, I feel embarrassed. Makes me feel embarrassed to support the club. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to make this bit of a statement here, because it happened a couple of weeks ago on Twitter, and I never really spoke about it in every kick, and I'm thinking I probably should. But then again, I don't want to be the kind of person that uses negativity about the club. So, you know, about DT, about Kevin, whether it be Arsenal Fan TV or an ex-Arsenal player, I don't want to use negativity about them or anybody related to the club for my own personal gain. So, you know, this won't even make the title. This is something I've just thrown in. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about Arsenal for you other fans, and we'll talk about something else instead. Now, I am actually looking for other fans to sort of come and get involved with every kick. I want to have people on and chat to them and record the call, and obviously we'll sort of speak over it, over different topics of you know, their clubs as well. So if anybody is interested, please message me on Twitter. And you can, you know, we'll join a Discord call and we'll record it, and we'll just have a good chat. I'm not really the debating type. I'll let you come on, air your opinions about your club, and I'll just ask the questions and stuff. I want to talk about this specific sort of transfer rumour. So there's no word of there's no sort of it's not unknown that's the word I'm looking for, that Jose Mourinho and Juan Mata have a very volatile relationship. They don't really seem to, for some reason, Mourinho doesn't really seem to rate Mata as what other managers have done in the past, that obviously he's played for. Sold him when he was at Chelsea, and he's trying again to get rid of Mata from Man United. Is actually looking to offload him. Juan Mata reminds me so much of Santi Cazorla. I find them both very similar players, and can I just say, I would love to see Mata at Arsenal, and I'm going to say it. I don't know any other Arsenal fans that are watching this if you feel the same, but would you, okay, regardless of who you support, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know the name of the team you support. Would you take Mata at your club? Because I would. I personally really would. I think he's experienced. He's such a talented player. He's very professional as well, which is what I really like about him. Downside, obviously, is quite injury prone. But yeah, Mourinho is actually looking at the other guy in the picture here on the right, Willian. And he wants to bring Willian to Manchester United. Now, Willian for me is so underrated in that Chelsea team. I think you look at Chelsea, and I think Eden Hazard steals most of the limelight, and it's really harsh. It's really harsh on Willian, because he is a fantastic player. Every time I've watched Chelsea this season when Willian's played, for me, he's been man of the match every time. He puts in an absolute shift. He really does. He really is a fantastic player. And obviously with Chelsea being where, I can't say much being an Arsenal fan here, but I'm saying it from a sort of neutral sort of perspective here. With Chelsea being where they are and Man United being where they are, I can actually see it likely being that Willian would jump ship. Only thing obviously that might put him off, he might be pushed to, if he does want to leave the club, to go to not a rival team, so maybe somewhere outside of the Premier League, because Chelsea don't really work that way. They did let Petr Cech come to Arsenal. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. There is definitely truth to it. There's truth that they could work out a swap deal, and could we see Mata back at Chelsea? That would be unreal. Imagine that. That would be unreal. But yeah, they could work out some sort of a swap deal between the two, because like I say, it's no word of a lie that, you know, Jose Mourinho and Mata don't really see eye to eye. Interesting one. Very, very interesting one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I really hope you guys can read what this says. This was trending on Twitter before the Man United and Man City derby. Somebody, a bus driver, or I don't know who actually did it, but somebody obviously who, I'm guessing it would be the bus driver, actually got Jose Mourinho's face printed on a bus. And got the hashtag Jose's Big Red Bus put on the side of the bus there, as you can see, with his face just at the side there. I hope you guys can see that, but that's what it says anyway. And they were driving this all throughout Manchester. There was loads of tweets. It was trending on Twitter the other day, and all you could see was, well, all these tweets of people saying, oh, I've just seen Jose's Big Red Bus, people taking pictures of it, people taking pictures with it by the side of it and stuff. Good bit of banter, to be fair. It's nice to put something like that into one of these videos, you know, and it's not always like sort of like serious talk, you know, in these videos. I like to put stuff like this in as well, because it's good to see that, you know, people still actually have a flipping sense of humour today. And congratulations are in order to Lincoln City, if you are a Lincoln fan. Nicely done. Well done on winning the Checkatrade Trophy. I want to say yesterday, but obviously it'll be 2 days ago by the time this does go live. So well done for winning this on Sunday. They beat Shrewsbury to win the trophy. I think they actually won 1-0 in the end. It was described as, I didn't personally watch the game, unfortunately. I was quite busy on Sunday, doing other things, recording and stuff. I do try and watch, you know, obviously as many games as I can, and I'm a bit disappointed that I wasn't able to watch the game actually. Apparently it was a very evenly matched game, and, you know, Lincoln really had to pull it out the bag there against a tough Shrewsbury side. So yeah, fair play Lincoln, well done on that. It obviously would not be fair to miss out this headline, obviously bringing sort of more serious matters back into the equation here. Really, really sad to hear about the passing of former footballer Ray Wilkins. What a career he actually had, you know, looking back. He actually passed away age 61, which, I mean, in today's day and age is absolutely no age. Like, I have grandparents older than that, and, you know, it does just kind of make you think, you know, don't take life for granted, guys. Just to be a little bit deep here, yeah, but I'm going to read through his senior career. He began his career at Chelsea, played 179 appearances for them and scored 30 goals. He then went on to play for Manchester United. He made 160 appearances for them and contributed to 7 goals. He then went to Italy, obviously very well travelled, Ray was. He went to Milan, and that is AC Milan, I do believe, played 73 games for them and scored 2 goals. He then went to Paris Saint-Germain, over in France. Decided to come back over after then to the UK and went to Rangers, went to tough it out in the Scottish League. 70 appearances he played for them and got 2 goals for Rangers. He then went to a different type of Rangers in Queen's Park, moving back up to London, where it all began for him, obviously, at Chelsea. He obviously moved home. He was a London man himself, and made 154 appearances for Queen's Park Rangers, and scored 7 goals. Remained in London and went to Crystal Palace, where he only played 1 game, unfortunately. He then went back to QPR and made another 21 appearances for them. Then went to Wycombe Wanderers, that is. Just played the 1 game for them. Went over to Scotland again, returned to Scotland and played for Hibernian, obviously. 16 games he played for them. Went back to London again and played for Millwall, played 3 games for them, and then finished his career at Leyton Orient, making a total of 694 appearances in his whole career, not just at Orient obviously, but yeah, in his whole career. Sadly, he stopped playing football in 1997, which actually was just the year after I was born, so I never got to see Ray play, but it doesn't take away, the fact that he is an absolute legend of the game. Say 694 games he played, and he actually scored 48 goals. Obviously played as a midfielder. He did actually play for England as well between 1976 and 1986. He made 84 appearances for his country and actually scored 3 goals. He went on to become a manager after he retired from his playing days. He managed QPR for 2 years between 1994 and 1996. He then managed Fulham for a year between 1997 and 98. Then he went on to be assistant managers at the following: Chelsea, Watford, Millwall, the England under-21s. Was then a manager again at Chelsea between 2008 and 2009. Then was a caretaker at Chelsea, and then got moved back to assistant in 2010. Then went on to be assistant manager at Fulham. Then took over the Jordan national team between 2014 and 15, and in more recent years went to Aston Villa, and was the assistant manager there in 2015. Was born into a footballing family. His dad and his 3 brothers actually were involved in football. He was actually the captain of Chelsea at age 18, and he went on to play in the Euro 1980 and the 1982 and 1986 World Cups, obviously for England. Just fantastic for him. Absolutely, safe to say he had a fantastic career, and obviously condolences to everybody that worked with him, which I imagine is a lot of people. I can imagine he had a big influence on so many people's lives. Obviously leaves behind a family, his wife, and you've got to just send your thoughts and prayers to them, obviously, at this time, losing a dad and husband. Obviously very hard, and obviously to his brothers as well, who have lost a brother. So yeah, sad times. And he had such a big impact on the game, when literally I don't think there was a single football club in England that didn't pay some sort of tribute to him, which is really nice to see. It really, really is. Now, back onto England, actually. Joe Hart put in an absolutely fantastic performance against Chelsea in West Ham's 1-1 draw with their rival London club. I posted a poll on Twitter, actually. I thought, well, I'm gonna give this a go. Let's do our first poll in a while, and I'm gonna show you guys the result. So here is my Twitter, by the way, for anybody who wants to go and follow it. It is obviously the link to it in the description down below if you are feeling a bit lazy and just want to click a link. There you go. Okay, so yeah, poll for Tuesday's Every Kick episode. Should Joe Hart be on the England plane? Feel free to elaborate in the replies. Nobody elaborated, fair play. We actually had 31 people vote, which is the most I've had in a long time. So thank you everybody that did participate with the poll. And 68% of you guys actually voted yes. So, wow. Should he? Do you agree with that? You guys in the comments? He's an iffy one, Joe Hart. I feel like I do personally feel like he's one that's very targeted by negativity. I feel like I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like he really is a scapegoat. At Man City, like, whenever Man City conceded, it seemed to always be everybody, I'm not saying that it was, but everybody seemed to always say, Joe Hart's fault, Joe Hart's at fault there, Hart's at fault, Hart's at fault, Hart's at fault, every single time. I'm going to say something. I've never played football at a professional level, so, you know, don't take this with a pinch of salt, please, right? When I used to play football, I played as a goalkeeper myself. I actually went to tournaments with my school, and we were champions a couple of times. Played in a penalty shootout. I saved 4 out of 5 penalties. I don't mean to brag here. I'm just saying, you know, I did play a lot of football as a goalkeeper. And all I can say, in a goalkeeper's defence here, you look at your striker, right? Let's say for argument's sake, you're playing in probably one of the most common formations today, 4-3-3. Let's say you're playing in a 4-4-3 formation, 4-3-3 formation even. So your striker makes a mistake. He has got players behind him to pick up off that mistake. Your wingers or your central midfielders make a mistake. They have then got the defence and the full-backs, you know, a back 4 even, sorry, I can't even count, plus the goalkeeper included, to recycle the mistake. A defender makes a mistake. You've got other defenders, you've got a goalkeeper that will recycle, that can recycle the mistake. A goalkeeper makes a mistake, who's he got behind him to help him? He's got the goal. You know, a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's going to be a goal. That's all I'm saying. That it's when you make a mistake, we're all human at the end of the day. Those footballers out there, okay, they get paid superhuman wages without a doubt, but they are human beings at the end of the day, and it's in our nature to make mistakes. And there was a time where Joe Hart was the best goalkeeper in the league. I'm going to openly say it. There was a time where every single club wanted Joe Hart. Man City had him. He was pretty good for a couple of seasons, and then obviously became more human and started to make more mistakes. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm really torn between this, which is why I put it into a poll. I could understand us taking Joe Hart for numerous reasons. He's a very experienced goalkeeper. He's been with us before, and then you could look at it in that way and say, like, well, yeah, but when we had Joe Hart on goal in other competitions, we've, you know, obviously not done good. But you can't keep blaming Joe Hart. Like, you can't just fault. At the end of the day, like, Joe Hart conceded a goal. Okay, yeah, he's conceded a goal. It's a mistake. There you go. But if we lose a game 1-0, you think, like, well, why aren't we scoring more? So you can't just blame it on. That's what I'm saying. Like, if England with Joe Hart and goal lose a game 1-0, you're gonna look at it and go, why couldn't Joe Hart have stopped that goal? Okay, if he'd have stopped that goal then, and everything else happened the exact same, that game would have finished 0-0. So you're blaming Joe Hart, but really, what we should be doing is when we concede, why don't we go score 2 more? You know, why don't we just score? That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's very, very hard being a goalkeeper. And you know, you make a mistake and that's it. It's 9 times out of 10 it's a goal. Anyway, that brings me to the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm not saying that Joe Hart should be on the plane. I'm also not saying he shouldn't. All I'm saying is, if he is, I understand why. Who do I think personally is the best English goalkeeper? I'm going to go for Jack Butland. I've watched him numerous times. He is an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. Butland, we saw make a mistake the other week for Stoke. He turned the ball into his own net. He couldn't make a simple catch from, I think it was a cross, wasn't it? It was a cross, right? Cross into the box. He's gone to catch it, fumbled it, and it's gone into the goal. Do you know what I mean? So even the best current English goalkeeper, in my opinion, Jack Butland, makes mistakes. So, you know, and his mistake went to a goal. I watched Danny Welbeck for Arsenal yesterday. He had a chance, literally, it was squared by Wilshere to him. He was in the box. He must have been he couldn't have been anything more than 10 yards away from that goal. He couldn't have been anything more than that, and he missed it. He absolutely skied it. He then went on to score 2 goals after, well, not after, but he then went on to score another goal. So, you know, just kind of, I guess, like, you know for a fact that whether Joe does or doesn't make that plane, that 23-man squad, there's gonna be people that say he should go. There's gonna be people that, if he does go, there's gonna be absolute hell up as well. People saying, why is Joe Hart? Oh my God, we bottled it already. It's just like another one of those things, isn't it, really? You've just gotta, I guess we've just gotta wait and see. But obviously got to give him credit where credit's due for his performance against Chelsea, obviously in Sunday's game. All of that being said, I'm sorry if I've rambled a lot in this video. That does actually bring me to the end of this episode, so I hope you all have enjoyed it. Thank you guys for stopping by, anybody that has. If you've made it through this far to the end, thank you very much, and please do make sure that you've left a like rating on the video. Obviously, please be subscribed if you're not already subscribed, guys, and you want to see more of this. And yeah, any comments, feedback, if you want to feature in next week's episode, then you might have a question for me that I can put on Twitter, or that I can put in a poll on Twitter, or you might have a question just for me personally. You might have a statement, and whatever you want to say, put it in the comment section or tweet me on Twitter. Get involved that way, and I'll feature you in next week's episode. With all of that being said, I'll see you all in that episode next week, same time, 4 PM. Make sure you're there.